Well, to help break it all down, Jesse Weber is here, NewsNation legal contributor and host at Law and Crime Network. Been following the case from the start, meeting you in person for the first time.
Great to see you.
Today's a good day.
Better hair in person.
Oh, thank you. You too. You too. So what do you make of what happened inside that courtroom today as Alex just laid it all out?
Short hearing, but I think we learned a couple of things. From my perspective, the defense is doing a few things here.
Okay.
What they are doing is fighting this investigation. A, questioning all the methodology by law enforcement, questioning how they gathered this evidence, asking about the training records, because I think their first goal is to try to make sure some of this evidence doesn't make it to trial. It is never seen by a jury. If that doesn't work, I think their next strategy is to say, okay, jury, what this case was about was a rush to find the killer. And it looks like law enforcement cut corners. Maybe they didn't thoroughly investigate people that they should have. Maybe they didn't ask those follow-up questions. We know defense has pointed the finger at other DNA like that was in the house and on a glove, and maybe there's other suspects. If the defense can do that, then that is a distraction away from what I believe is really bad evidence that has been put forward by the prosecution.
You do think it's bad evidence?
For the defense, I think it's terrible. I mean, we talk about DNA that was matched. Bryan Kohberger, a match. His DNA on that knife sheath that we learned from last week, that's devastating for the defense. So what they're trying to do is say, wait a minute. How did you find this? How was the profile developed? Let's really put a microscope on investigators, because it may not be as accurate and thorough as they claim it to be.
But isn't the defense also saying that the DNA isn't necessarily in as many of the spots or all of the spots that it could potentially be in for Bryan Kohberger?
See, I don't know if that's relevant, because number one, this was a college house. So if there's other people's DNA or there's a lack of DNA, that's one thing to think about. Now, it's also evidence that he thoroughly cleaned his car. When he was arrested, he had gloves on. There was evidence that he bleached the car. So we've seen cases before where you might not see a ton of DNA evidence in places you would want to see it. But to have his DNA, which is basically a statistical match on a key piece of evidence that was found right next to the body, that is a slam dunk for prosecutors, coupled with the cell phone evidence and the surveillance footage, which I know defense is trying to fight against.
Seeking the death penalty, surprise you or no?
No. If you're going to have the death penalty in a state, this is the kind of case you have it for. I mean, you're talking about multiple killings that were absolutely heinous. They were committed during the commission of another felony, a burglary. I'm not surprised at all, even if there was pushback by the families. And prosecutors listen to the families. It's up to the prosecutor at the end of the day whether to pursue this, and this is the kind of case you have it for. Not saying that the jury will vote in favor of it, but this is the case you pursue.
The house where the murder took place started to get cleaned out today before it's demolished. Will this be a loss for the prosecution?
Well, I am praying they got everything that they needed out of there for the trial. What is not going to happen, if it's demolished before the trial, what that means is the jury will not go on a sight view. They will not see this house. You don't have that in every trial. Sometimes it benefits, sometimes it doesn't. I think at the end of the day, there was a lot of pain in that house, and I know they're planning on turning it into a memorial. So at the end of the day, they might not need it in order to secure a conviction against Bryan Kohberger. All
right. Jesse Weber, thank you.
Good seeing you.
Yep, you too.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.